Welcome to tonight's 5 on 5. The guest is U.S. Senator Ron Wyden. Thank you so much for stopping by, Senator.
Thanks for having me back.
Let's talk about what you're visiting Oregon here for right now, a dangerous fire season. Tell us what you've kind of learned.
It looks like a very, very difficult fire season. All over the state, people are talking about sort of record dryness. I mean, we've seen this already taking a big toll on a lot of our communities. I'm going to have a hearing in my committee on June 4th, and I wanted to come here to learn about the conditions and learn about what kind of resources are going to be necessary. Now, a bit of good news. On May 3rd, the government announced it's going to make some purchases of some new air tankers. That's absolutely key to getting in place the resources that Southern Oregon needs. I wrote a law last year. It kind of set a land speed record in terms of getting it through the Senate and the House. And I also today released a letter to the FAA, the Aviation Administration, saying we need to get the next generation of air tankers out to our communities because they're being hit very hard.
Good news as far as the air tankers. How about resources, other resources, manpower and other things to fight fires? Does it look like the funding is there for that?
The agencies are really juggling. There's no question that this matter of budget sequestration, where there are cuts at all the agencies now. The agencies said today in Southern Oregon and this morning up in Portland, they are juggling. But my view is this is going to take a big toll in terms of preventive work, the thinning and the restoration. The reason that that's so important is without thinning and restoration, you have bigger fires, you have hotter fires, and as I heard today, they're also more dangerous to the firefighters, these courageous firefighters we have. So I'm going to be using that hearing on June 4th to try to get some additional help for prevention, thinning, and restoration.
You mentioned the word thinning, which has to do with a lot of timber in our... What's the latest on the ONC, the money that they asked for back after sequestration?
I think that we're going to see a concerted effort over the next few weeks to set in place a plan for the ONC community. Certainly this question of the government asking for money back, you've got the two agencies, the Agriculture Department and the Interior Department, both taking differing positions. This is really outrageous stuff. And Senator Murkowski and I are looking at ways to try to block that so people don't have to pay it back, doesn't work an additional financial hardship. I also plan by the end of this month to lay out a strategy in terms of trying to get a bill that can pass the House, pass the Senate, get signed by the President, that can help the ONC communities. And there is, when you talk to the governor, when you talk to the Oregon House delegation, my staff folks, there's a lot of agreement. We all understand we need more rural jobs, we've got to up the timber harvest, and we've got to protect our treasures. Now, I wrote the two big laws that have passed in the last 20 years, Secure Rural Schools and the Healthy Forest Restoration Act. I think I know a little bit about getting a law passed in this area, and we're going to do it again.
All right, I have a few more questions for you, Senator, so stick around. More 5 on 5 right after the break. Welcome back to the 5 on 5. The guest is U.S. Senator Ron Wyden. We talked a little bit about fighting fires this summer. We've talked a little bit about the ONC payments. Let's move on to online sales tax, or taxing online sales, excuse me. And it's something you voted no against, but the rest of the Senate voted yes. What's the latest of that, and why did you vote no?
Well, the latest, as of yesterday, a bit of good news. The Speaker of the House, John Boehner, really issued a statement that was very much in line with my views, and that is that it just doesn't make a lot of sense right now in this kind of economy to heap new burdens onto the back of our small businesses, both online retailers and folks who are in small stores. And I think Oregonians need to know exactly what's at stake here. We don't have a sales tax, but under this badly flawed bill, we would have our retailers, both online and offline, have to collect sales taxes for thousands and thousands of jurisdictions all over the country. They're not willing to take the heat, those jurisdictions, to collect their own taxes. So they're saying, why don't we just shift the burden onto a small Oregon business? I think this is a badly flawed idea. It would require that our small businesses be subjected to all kinds of account audits and compliance procedures. We don't need that with our economy as vulnerable as it is. I've fought it strongly thus far, and we got some encouraging words late yesterday from the Speaker of the House, who thinks this is also something that doesn't make any sense in terms of heaping new burdens onto small business.
The Speaker of the House was backing you, and you were kind of fighting the Senate. Does that mean on your side of the aisle you kind of had some opposition, and across the aisle maybe that they were backing you? How has that played out?
Well, first of all, bipartisanship, in my view, isn't about taking each other's bad ideas. Bipartisanship is about trying to come up with sensible ideas. And something like this, in a vulnerable economy, heaping new bureaucratic burdens onto small businesses, which are the heart of Oregon's economy, doesn't make any sense. Now, if in the House of Representatives and the House and the Senate will get together, people are want to talk about some simplified arrangement to collect taxes owed, I've always said I'm open to that. But putting Oregon's small businesses through bureaucratic water torture, collecting sales taxes for jurisdictions thousands and thousands of miles away, that's just tax